Ron.
Hi, my name is Aaron Holden. I'm doing a refutation on Michael Curtis's claim that the three-strike rule harms the state of California. His three secondary claims are, one, that the three-strike rule puts the state in violation of the Constitution over the 8th and 6th Amendments. The second is that the three-strike rule reduces confidence on our judicial system. And the third is that the three-strikes rule overutilizes substantial resources from the state. I will cover the first secondary claim, that it violates the Constitution. Michael's example about the petty theft that I hope you all remember from the threestrikes.org, about a man who was accused of stealing a bunch of child videos from a store, and it was on his third offense, and he ended up going to jail for 50 years. Now, what he forgot to mention was that this man was also a heroin addict, and it was his 6th case prior to this. He had 2 major cases where he was accused of harassing and attempted murder. The other were because of low misdemeanors with drug abuse. Sorry to say that. The state, and now another point about this is you're given 3 chances, and I believe that, I mean, if you can't stay out of major felonies at least 3 times, then I'm pretty sure you're subject to some sort of legal rule, such as the 25-year rule. And from the threestrikes.org, it is stated that these offenses usually have to be very serious. Have to be some sort of attempt of murder. Petty theft is not considered one unless it is your 3rd rule. Now, the 6th Amendment states that everybody is entitled to a fair trial in front of a non-biased jury. It was previously claimed that since you get on your 3rd strike, you won't have a chance in front of a jury or a judge. And I feel that having had already 2 prior cases, this kind of saves the court system a little bit of time, and it kind of stops it from being backed up. I mean, if you have these repeat offenders, such as the example from before, where the person had 7 prior cases, 2 of which were violent crimes, and then he's thrown in again for petty theft, and he has to be brought in front of the judge again. I mean, it doesn't really make sense why the judge should even waste his time having to see him in front of him, when they can just put him, behind bars. He should be separated from the rest of society, because, I mean, it's clear that he's a threat. His second claim was that it reduces confidence in the judicial system, and that it takes the power out of the judge's hand. And like I just stated, I believe that this is kind of a bit more beneficial to the judicial system, because they don't have to worry about all this backed up. They don't have to worry about all these criminals constantly coming in over and over and over again. I mean, it makes sense that you only have so many chances. Evidence from threestrikes.com states that since the law was implemented in 1993, that there was a large drop in violent crimes. But over the next 14 years, from 1993 to 2007, there was a large growth of about 50,000 people. It used to be about 120,000 people in the prison systems, and it had jumped to 170,000 over a 14-year span. What the Three Strikes You're Out site says is that of those 50,000 that have been put into jail, only 7,200 of them have been used or implemented through the 3 strikes rule, and that's only 4% of the inmates. And 4% of that 7,200, and I think the number, I wrote it down somewhere, it's something like only 300 of those cases were sentenced for longer than 25 years due to petty theft. So the petty theft example is it's not exactly a very common thing. I mean, 350 cases over a 14-year span, and everything else being some sort of more violent or serious crime. I kind of believe that the three strike rule is all right in that sense. And the third is that the 3 strikes rule is forcing California to use more resources than we need, such as forcing more people into the prison system, I believe, which isn't really even shown, since only 4% of the people that are currently in there are, a cause of the three-strike rule. But the thing is, they'd already be in prison anyway, because they'd be probably working a shorter sentence, and then they'd probably come out again if they got the chance to be in front of a jury. So I really don't think that it would have been any difference, considering that they've already been back and forth through the judicial system so many times. Now, in conclusion, I hope you can understand through my point of view that the three strikes rule is a very good and solid implication of judicial law, and that it does keep repeat offenders off the streets and behind bars. Thank you.